You're watching Ford Gordon's Great Big Brawls. All right, we are taking a quick look at Dominaria Remastered. I'm just going to run through the variant versions of the cards. It gives you a great idea of the valuable and playable reprints in this set. I'm just going to hit on a few of the key ones that we're looking for when we do the break. So right off the top in white, we're looking for Enlightened Tutor. Of course, Lyra Dawnbringer. We've also got Sarah Avatar, Swords to Plowshares, the Windborn Muse, and Wrath of God. Those are the key obvious ones. As you can see, they're also available in full art, Enlightened Tutor, Lyra Dawnbringer, Test of Endurance, Windborn Muse, and Wrath of God. Moving along to blue, there's Arcanus the Omnipotent. We've got Counterspell, and of course Force of Will, the big hit in the set. Mystic Remora, Mystical Tutor. We got Time Stretch, Urza, Lord High Artificer, and then we have the alternate art for these. We've got the Force of Will alternate art, Mystic Remora, Mystical Tutor, Time Stretch, and the alternate art, Urza. Moving into black, we've got some really great reprints here. We've got Chainer reprinted, and we've got Chainer's Edict in several different versions. These, of course, are the throwback or retro bordered versions, and we'll see the full art in a second. Mind Slicer, Entomb. One I'm particularly excited about, No Mercy. I was just about to run out and buy this card and then realized it was reprinted, so we'll look for one of those. Oversold Cemetery. Of course, Royal Assassin makes its first appearance in quite some time. We've got Vampiric Tutor, which has been reprinted recently, but you can never have too many of those. Yawgmoth, Thran Physician, another great hit. And then we got the full art versions of Chainer, Chainer's Edict, Entomb, No Mercy, Oversold Cemetery, and of course, Vampiric Tutor and Yawgmoth again. Moving into red. Less I'm excited about, but that's just my bias. I'm not a big red player. But we've got Chain Lightning reprinted in an old school border, which is really nice. We're looking at Last Chance here. Shivan Dragon, again, it's an old card reprinted. It's kind of neat, but the novelty will wear off quick. It's not terribly playable these days. Sneak Attack. And of course, World Gorger Dragon. Some of the full art, we've got Flametongue Kavu, we've got Gamble in full art, Grim Lavamancer, Last Chance, Siege Gang Commander rather, and World Gorger Dragon. So I'm less excited about red, but hey, we'll take what we get, right? Moving into green, Birds of Paradise. For an old player like me, that's an exciting retro print that we'll be looking for. We've got Nature's Lore. You can never have too many of those. Great fetch card for land. Nut Collector. For those who like to play squirrels, there's a lot of value reprinted in here with Squirrel's Nest and Nut Collector. One of the ones I'd really like to grab is Sylvan Library, because that fits in anything with green. And lastly, Worldly Tutor. Another great reprint. You can never have too many tutors outside of the black color. And then the full art, we've got a new version of Birds of Paradise, Nut Collector, Sylvan Library, Arborea, and Worldly Tutor. So we'll be looking for those as well when we break this box. Moving into multicolor, fun reprint. For anybody who remembers Legends the first time around, Arcades Sabath, we'll look to see if we fetch in any of those. Moving right along... Nothing much grabbing me. Solkanar, of course. Everybody's going to be excited to get a hold of that. I think that applies to Rith the Awakener as well. Spiritmonger, I have a certain nostalgia about that from the Invasion block. Tatyova. And lastly, Zur the Enchanter. Again, we have some ultimate arts for Absorb, Decimate, Hunting Grounds, and Radha. Moving into artifacts. Damping Sphere makes another appearance. We've got some, I think, Ice Age art for the Icy Manipulator, which is kind of cool to see again. Some fun art for Jester's Cap, far different from the original Ice Age version. Legacy Weapon appears again in this series. Lotus Blossom, another nice reprint. And of course, Urza's Incubator. Very fun card if you're playing on theme. And naturally, the full arts. We've got Jester's Cap, Helm of Awakening, Gauntlet of Power rather, Legacy Weapon, a very nice Lotus Blossom, Triskelion, and Urza's Incubator. Lastly, I think we're coming into the land where we have reprints of some of the Dominaria lands. We've got Clifftop Retreat in the retro border, Dark Depths, Gemstone Mine, Hinterland Harbor, Isolated Chapel, Maze of Ith, Mishra's Factory, which has seen a lot of reprinting of late, Sulphur Falls, and Woodland Cemetery. And then we've got the last three full arts that they've released in this series, and that's Dark Depths, Gemstone Mine, and a very nice printing of Maze of Ith. So without further ado, we will move into the segment where we are breaking this box wide open. We're going to break some Dominaria Remastered today. Just got our hands on this beauty product. Can't wait to open it. Sure to give us lots of fun with lots of great reprints of favorite cards. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now, I'm not going to waste a lot of time on some of the more common stuff. I'm just going to highlight the big hits and the interesting finds. There we go, a bunch of packs. So exciting. So again, this is a collector booster of Dominaria Remastered. The way I'm going to sort through these is pretty typical fashion. I'm going to sort by colors and lands and whatnot. And I'm going to set aside the rares. And of course, we'll showcase the big hits. We got a token. Got a beautiful Sulphur Falls right off the top. We have an alternate art Urza. Another beautiful Sulphur Falls, non-foil this time. Divine Sacrament. Wild Dogs. Dark Withering. Chain Lightning. Fancy Shiny Lands. Thran Golem. Split card, Order and Chaos. Twisted Experiment. Phyrexian Ghoul. Peregrine Drake, Battlefield Scourger, and Avarax. Not a bad pack. Cannot complain about the return on that one. Another Gabo token, Griffin on the back. Go back to the other one. Ooh, sheep. We have a very retro Shivan Dragon, non-foil. Jester's Cap in the extended art non-foil. And a beautiful Hinterland Harbor, also in the non-foil, but the classic border. Oh, look at that, an old school Bop in foil. Birds of Paradise, lovely card. Peregrine Drake in the fancy border. Duress. Classic art for the Icy Manipulator. Fancy Land. Treva's Ruins, Necro Savant, Undying Rage, Man of War, Leaden Fists, Goblin Matron, and Fidias Seer. Alright, I'll use the rip. I hate to use the rip. I'll use the rip because this pack's giving me a problem. Alright, first off, zombie token. Squirrel on the back. We've got a alt art foil Triskelion. That's a beauty. Ooh, alternate art Mystic Remora non-foil. Forgotten Ancient in the fancy retro border. Siege Gang Commander, another classic. Chainer's Edict in the fancy border. Impulse. Thran Golem again. Fancy swap. Very nice crop rotation in foil. Even Fate Shaper. Cicada Lancer. Ovenize. Juggernaut. Frantic Search. And Festering Goblin. Pack 3, 4. Bear with me, first time doing a break on camera. We got an insect token, flip side is a sheep. We got an exploration in the foil interesting border. Decimate in the alternate art, Maze of Ith, and a Tuco Shade. Very pretty and eye-popping counterspell in foil. Street Wraith. Empty the Warrens. Another island. Griffin Guide. Don't have a white pile. Look at that. Excuse me while I clean up my mess. Another split color. We got Assault and Battery. I seem to have lost my... There's my dual colors. Street Wraith. Solar Blast. Lull. Duress, and Break Asunder. So, not too bad. We got a zombie with a bird on the other side. Beautiful foil alternate art, Wrath of God. Alternate art, Dark Depths, non-foil. Old border, World Gorger Dragon. Got a lovely foil Time Stretch. And we got Chain Lightning. Chainer's Edict makes another appearance. Wild Dogs. Island Dedapult. Gerard's Verdict. Spirit Link. Classic. Setton's Desire, Remedy, Grape Shot, and Glintwing Invoker. I certainly don't want you getting into these packs. Okay, starting off with an insect token with Construct on the other side. And then a classic from Legends, Arcady Saboth, in a retro border foil. We've got a full art Gamble, unfortunately not a foil one. Gemstone Mine, another beauty. Hers is Blueprints. In foil, Empty the Warrens, Undead Gladiator. And because you can just never have too many Mind Stones in each set, another Mind Stone. Plains, Battle Screech, Dodecapod, White Mane Lion. Because I said that about the Mind Stone, I get a second one in foil. Kavu Primarch, Cloud of Fairies, and Goblin Turncoat. I think we've well and truly reached the halfway point. Some real nice hits. Nothing really to get excited about. Haven't seen Force of Will yet. Sure would like to see a Sylvan Library. So we got a Goblin with a bird on the back. And then we've got a beautiful alternate art foil Chainer. Full art Gemstone Mine. Oversold Cemetery. Oh, look at that. Not the best possible hit, but still a beauty and very playable. Foil Vampiric Tutor. We've got a full art foil Flame Tongue Kavu. Renewed Faith. Good old Fact or Fiction. Forest. Sawtooth Loon. Chainer's Edict. Smoldering Crater. You gotta love any of those cycling lands. Wild Growth in foil. Very lovely. Daddy loves the ramp. Ornithopter in foil. Giant Spider, and Elvish Aberration. Hey, that one wanted to open. Got an elephant token with Griffin on the back. Oh, here's a beauty. Mystical Tutor in foil in the retro border. Gonna be liking that. Last chance, full art, non-foil. Beautiful art on that one. And we've got a Sarah Avatar in the retro frame. Another beautiful card. Not even going to try and say that, but I think it's Joel Rail, Monvoli Recluse in foil. And a Damping Sphere in foil. Lull. Another Frantic Search. Forest. We got Wax and Wane. Dromar's Cavern. Ready for 3 color layers. Skirk Prospector. Nomad Decoy. Obsessive Search. Emerald Charm. And Evil Eye of Ormsby Gore. Classic Legends card reprinted. No, Dark. Legends. The Dark. I'm going to say the Dark. Feel free to flame me in the comments for not knowing my cards. We've got Insect v Squirrel. A beautiful Gemstone Mine in foil. Oh, we got a beauty here. Non-foil, but we hit our Force of Will. Always a happy card to see. Makes for a good day. We've got a Wrath of God in Old School border. And Helm of Awakening. Drownu's Crusade. Very nice looking full art Chainer's Edict. Momentary Blink. Swamp. Spectral Lynx. Ovinomancer. Urborg Uprising. Phyrexian Debaser. Chalum Tome. Empty the Warrens. Another Cycle Land. Drifting Meadow. Down to our last 3 packs, folks. It was quick but fun. We got some big hits for you. We got an elephant on the other side of the bird. Lovely Clifftop Retreat in the retro foil border. Legacy Weapon. With some lovely extended art non-foil. Everybody's favorite, Entomb in a retro border. And we have hit another Arcady Saboth in the standard, but foil. And then we got White Mane Lion, a Juggernaut, Tiana, Ship's Caretaker, Plains. Oh, here's a beauty. I remember this in, what was it? Invasion, somewhere in that block. That was the card to have, and that got a lot of play back in the day. Now reprinted. Nice foil. Fact or Fiction. Snap. Another Cycle Land. Slippery Karst. Phantom Flock. Icor Slick. And Hermetic Study. Last 2 packs. I'll try and stop hitting the camera for you. We've got a zombie with a griffin. Oh, here's a nice one. We've got a Lotus Blossom. I've got that in the retro in foil. All very nice. Full art Worldly Tutor. A retro border Lyra. And Sulfuric Vortex in foil. Ornithopter, Fideus Seer, Counterspell, Swamp, Spite and Malice, Faceless Butcher, Symbiotic Beast, Mystic Zealot, Radiance Judgment, Cackling Fiend, and Cleric of the Forward Order. And we're on to our very last pack. All over but the crying, folks. Goblin Token. Squirrel on the back. This one I'm very excited to see. It is No Mercy in the retro border as well as foil. What a great reprint that is. Another great hit, full art Yawgmoth Thran Physician, which is another beauty, unfortunately not foil. We've got Gamble in the alternate border. Very nice. And lastly, Pyre Zombie. That's a nice foil too. One I was hoping to see, got Swords to Plowshares foil in the retro border. Always space in a deck with white for a Swords to Plowshares. That goes in the special pile. Johnny's Crusade, Peregrine Drake, Forest, Dragon Blood, Confiscate, Terminal Moiraine, Primal Boost, very nice Momentary Blink in foil. It's going to go in a deck. Impulse, and Horseshoe Crab. Well, folks, that draws us to a close unless I've missed something, which I don't think I have. Be sure to flame me in the comments if you didn't like what you saw. If you did like what you saw, smash subscribe, and also that other little bell thing that lets you know when I've produced new content. Take care of yourself, get over to your local LGS and pick up a box of Dominaria Remastered. As you can see, it pays dirt. Thanks everybody. Great Big Brawls out.